Well, many millennials and Gen Z are learning how to invest through TikTok and social media influencers, and often invest just using their gut instincts. Here to talk about the pros and cons of trading off of vibes is Liz Enriquez, founder and personal finance mentor at Ambitious Adulting. Liz, thanks very much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
How reliable are those sources? What are your thoughts on them?
Well, I do personal finance content on TikTok and Instagram, and I definitely caution everybody getting information online. Anyone can start an Instagram or TikTok account and talk about whatever they want. So there's some caution that needs to be taken, but I also think it's an important way that people learn, and it's a route that a lot of people, millennials and younger generations, are using to learn about different topics, including personal finances.
Liz, do you think you can build the depth with the short form content that is a TikTok video or a YouTube short to really get to the nuances of a topic? Or does it need to be structured in different ways where it's a series of 20-second clips? Or can you really pack in the depth that you need to make these informed decisions?
No, I don't think in short form you can really understand the depth and all the information that's needed. I think what the short form does is pique the interest of someone who might not even be thinking about it, or might think, oh, it's not for me, investing is too hard, or investing is for a different kind of person. I think that the short form content helps them kind of see the basics of it, but then that should be the introduction, and then folks should be going to reputable sources, going on platform websites that have verified data, reading books, and doing some more in-depth research on their own. Probably if there's some trends that come up time and time again with personal finance content creators that are pretty universal personal finance lessons across the board. That is probably enough, but when you create strategies, more supporting data is needed to make decisions.
Now, I imagine this generation, though, is probably one of the more educated when it comes to it because of all this access they have to it. Not always perfect, but they're also going on their gut instinct on when they make decisions. How is that working for them, and your thoughts on it?
I think the gut instinct, we all have that gut instinct, and there's been cases again and again of people not knowing what they're doing, what they're investing, but following trends. I think of GameStop. I think of other kind of big news stories, even Bitcoin, where people are like, I don't really know how this works, but I'm going to go for it. And that's essentially following that gut instinct without having the context and understanding of how investing works and what you're investing in. And it works for some people, and this is a risk. When people think about investing as being gambling, I think this is what they're talking about, is when people just jump in without doing any research. And sometimes it pays off and sometimes it doesn't, but it's not the most sustainable strategy, especially for long-term wealth building. I always say, if you want to follow your gut, do it with a small percentage of your portfolio. Whatever you have, maybe it's just with $100 or $1,000 or whatever a small percentage of your portfolio is, can scratch that itch if you really want to see kind of where that goes. But the majority of your investing should be in a safer, more thought out and researched manner.
Okay, Liz, thank you for that. We have to wrap things up there, but thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Liz Enriquez is founder and personal finance mentor at Ambitious Adulting.